everyone has given a statement different from the alleged victim. The alleged victim has spoken to every last one of them, but she told them all something different. How can I find her credible? I'm supposed to believe that she told everybody else something different, and then now she's here to tell the truth and the whole truth. So, no, I find her to lack any credibility. The case is dismissed. Which one is the lie?
Sherry Robb says she was the victim of an assault, but she didn't have any visible injuries. She swears she gave police a statement, but the officer says she didn't. She says she wasn't drunk, but the officer says she was definitely intoxicated. She says she was hit with a bottle, but then she admits she never saw it. And then 3 of her co-workers take the stand to relate 3 different stories she told them. After all that, her credibility was in the tank, the same tank she filled with her own bullshit. What's Wolner's?
The state of Michigan versus Morgan Miller. So it was scheduled today for a prelim. This is for assault with a deadly weapon. We're ready to proceed. Any preliminary matters before we call what this is.
And we have extended a plea offer at this time. That offer was for an aggravated assault count with a dismissal of the felonious assault. It's my understanding that at this time that offer is being rejected. That offer will not be maintained up in circuit court.
That's accurate, Your Honor. I conveyed the offer to Ms. Miller, and it was rejected.
The people would like to first call Sherry Robb to the stand.
You raise right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Okay, you can have a seat there.
I want to take your attention back to August 21st of 2025. Do you recall that day?
Yes.
And do you recall what you were doing on that night?
That night I had recently just got out of work. My friend Kelsey, she had invited me over to the house for a couple of drinks. I got out of work, I went to the house. Then once I got there, she informed me that another friend of ours from her job was coming.
Do you recall how much you drank at Kelsey's house?
I probably drank like 3 or 4 shots.
Shots of what?
Loon.
What is it?
Loon as well, it's a liquor.
Do you know what kind it is? Like, is it a tequila, a vodka? Tequila. Thank you.
Well, Morgan had went to her car and she drove off kind of fast for a second there. And then Duder and Kelsey were still arguing. Morgan had drove back in her car, and when she pulled up, she parked outside because it was only like 3 minutes she was going. She parked outside. I went up to her, I asked her, "Are you okay?" I'm asking you, like, are you, because she was crying in the car. And that's when she asked me to grab her the pint of Luna, because while we were on our way to the liquor store, we ended up getting into an argument. And it was really over Kelsey. The argument wasn't nothing. I don't know if it had to do with the conversation we were having in the car or like our previous hangouts, because me and Morgan have previously hung out before, just me and her, and there has been some like physical abuse that I've seen between her and her boyfriend that before Kelsey got into the car we were talking about. Then when we were arguing, she threw her hands on me while driving. So she's kind of slowing down to kind of throw her hands on me because I couldn't tell you why of the situation of what we were fighting on that got it to that point.
So when you say put her hands on you, can you describe that a little bit for me?
Well, I mean, I was sitting right next to her, and she swung at me. She swung her hands at me, and I kind of pushed her hand down because she was driving the car,
So you said you'd get out of the car.
Yes.
Does she slow down?
Yes, she does slow down. I open up the door, and I get out, I shut the door. I'm looking to make sure I have all my stuff, because at this point, we're kind of both going back and forth, and I'm making sure I have all my stuff, because I knew that if I didn't have all my stuff, I wasn't going to get it back. Her window was open, so as I was leaving, my vape, I couldn't find my vape. I smoked cigarettes, couldn't find my vape. So I was looking in the car to see if it was in there, and in the meantime, that's when it happened.
Okay, so you're looking for your vape. Where were you looking for it at?
In the front seat.
Okay. And so the door was open to the car at this point?
Yes, the door was open.
Were you still in the car?
No, I was outside.
So how were you reaching in the car?
The window was open.
Okay. So
it was like a quarter way open.
Okay. So you were reaching into the car through the open window?
Yes.
Okay.
I all I remember is being hit and opening my eyes and looking up and blood coming out everywhere in the car. That's all I remember. All I remember is being hit with the bottle while standing outside the car looking for my stuff. And then after that, I remember opening my eyes, blood spraying everywhere in her car, me looking up, Kelsey saying no, and her driving. Then I was dangling outside of her car, halfway outside of her car, dangling as she drove off.
But you didn't see what you were hit with initially? How do you know it was a bottle?
Because the bottle was outside the car, and it should have been inside the car, and it was out. So, I mean, yes, I guess it could have been. In reality, I can't look, like, I didn't physically see her swing a bottle at me, no.
You recall talking to the police at that time?
Yes.
And did you tell them what happened?
Yes, I told the police.
At that,
Yes, sir, I told them what happened. I did not tell them her name or like the exact information of this stuff.
And at that time, when Lansing police showed up, you refused to talk to them, right?
Correct.
You refused to tell them a story, right?
Correct.
So your testimony earlier that you told them something that happened, but the only thing you didn't tell them was the person's name, that's not accurate, right? I'm asking you, Lansing Police Department in their report indicates that you were on August 21st, that you refused to give them a statement. Are they lying or are you?
You guys, they record, correct?
I'm asking you the
I
question.
would say they are not telling the complete truth.
And you were highly intoxicated at the time, right?
No.
So if Lansing Police Department says Robb was notably intoxicated that day, that wouldn't be accurate.
That wouldn't be accurate.
Isn't it true that you threw a bottle at Miss Miller first?
No.
Isn't it true that you told people you threw a bottle at Miss Miller first?
you were drinking that night, yes?
Yes.
And you said you had about 3 or 4 shots that night.
Yes, but I'm completely aware of what was going on.
Okay. Would you say that would probably have caused some intoxication?
Yeah.
And when you arrived, do you recall what you saw?
Briefly.
Okay. And what did you see?
So on the 21st, I remember showing up to the address. There was a medical call. And I remember seeing blood on her scrubs and her holding something to her head.
Okay. And at this time, do you recall what Miss Robb's demeanor was?
I could tell that she was intoxicated. And she was crying. I feel like she was in an emotional state.
And on that day, did Miss Robb give you a statement?
She did not.
Okay. Did you attempt to get a statement from her?
Yes.
Was she willing to give you any details about what happened?
No.
And so at that point, she hadn't given you a statement. She wasn't willing to work with you. Do you recall getting a statement from her on a different day?
Yes.
And that was via phone?
Yes.
And you saw her holding something to her head. Do you recall seeing an injury at all that day?
No, I just saw blood.
And so under accused information and identification, there's no name, right?
Yeah, there's,
And Officer Lindman was the one that identified the name, right?
yes.
Because I gotta go back. You said that she appeared to be intoxicated.
Yes.
Is there a reason you didn't interview Miss Miller?
What day?
Any day. You testified earlier that you didn't
So,
interview Miss Miller.
on the 24th, I didn't get the full name. I only got Morgan Miller,
Okay.
but not a day of birth or like any information of where she could be at, nor a phone number where I can follow up.
Okay. Did you ever interview her? You already testified you did, right?
Yeah, I did not.
What did Miss Robb tell you about the alleged altercation with Miss Miller?
She had stated that Miss Robb stated that she picked up the bottle and threw a bottle at Miss Miller, and in return, Miss Miller threw the bottle back at her.
But you have no personal knowledge of what happened that day.
No.
Okay, what did she tell you?
She told me that she needed to leave early because she could not be in the building when Morgan got there because her and Morgan had a dispute and Morgan threw a bottle and hit her in the head.
Did she tell you that Sherry threw the bottle first?
No.
Give you two version of events, right?
Yeah, I had heard one version. Yeah, from her.
What did Miss Robb tell you?
So I asked her what happened, and she said that she tripped and fell and hit her head.
One of those coworkers was told that Miss Miller threw the bottle. One of those coworkers was told that Miss Robb threw the bottle first. And one of those coworkers was told that nothing really happened and that she fell and hit her head. That last one, Miss Keener, was told that she doesn't know when. She doesn't know if it was before or after that police report was made, before Miss Robb felt like she was able and capable of making that report.
Question the legitimacy of Miss Robb's testimony. Stated she didn't give a statement to the police. Miss Robb made up several stories here. I question the fact that she doesn't know what she was hit with. I question the fact that there is no evidence. There's no bottle.
Court will be the only determiner of credibility of any of the witnesses. For some reason, Miss Robb is now, although out of the car, now leaning her body inside of a car. Red flag. If I left something in a car, I'm not leaning or jumping through a car to get it. A window of a car. That's I would open the car door. I would get all my things while the car before I close the car door. But she's closed the car door, and then somehow or another she is now leaning in this car door. Based on her testimony, if I were to believe her testimony, in the vehicle far enough that her body would hang out if the vehicle continued to drive. And she said it's for the purpose of looking for something. I don't know how I can look for something inside of a car hanging through a window. If it's on the floor of the car, if it fell on the cracks of the car, I don't know. I just say that portion of the story was a red flag for me. It was questionable. When questioned about how she knew she was hit in the head, she did testify that she never saw herself get hit in the head with a bottle. She just knew she had got hit in the head with a bottle because A, she was hit, B, she saw the bottle outside of the vehicle, and that the driver would not have been close enough to her to hit her with the bottle. Red flag. There's a third person in the car. You didn't see the driver hit you. How do we know that if you were hit by someone in the car, didn't come from the other person? Because you're telling us in open court that you didn't see the bottle or you didn't see yourself get hit, and that the person that you're saying hit you wasn't close enough to hit you themselves unless they used a bottle, but you only see the bottle on the outside of the vehicle. So again, it's things that are not completely adding up for the court initially. As we move forward, then we get testimony on direct that she gave a statement to the police. And she, on cross-examined, Ms. Robb is adamant that she gave a statement to the police but just refused to give the name. But then we later get testimony from Officer Leslie Vasquez, who's very clear that the girl refused to give a statement. But she was adamant, even when asked multiple times, did you give a statement to the police? Yeah, I gave a statement. I don't know. She essentially said that the police report and the police were lying or they were inaccurate and they got video, right? But the officer is very clear. It sounds like their video was reviewed by a sergeant or a detective later, that there was no statement given, that she refused to give a statement that she was intoxicated, to which she said she wasn't intoxicated. It's been a long time since I worked a job that required me to work 12-hour shifts. However, I do work a job now that requires me to get awakened out of my sleep for search warrants. And so I can imagine if you work a 12-hour shift, you could probably be exhausted. There could be something that impacts you. And then you couple that with 3 to 4 shots of tequila. but she wants us to believe that she was not intoxicated, that tequila didn't bother her in any way, and that she just sat on the side of the sidewalk and refused to go in an ambulance, although she said there was a lot of blood everywhere, so that she could drive herself to the hospital to save herself what may be up to a $500 ride to the hospital. Then we have testimony from defense witnesses. And one witness testified very blanketly that Ms. Robb unsolicitedly tells her that she got into an incident or altercation with Ms. Miller, that she threw the bottle at Ms. Miller and Ms. Miller threw the bottle back. That story makes some sense, but would explain how you knew the bottle was thrown at you, by whom, since you claim you didn't see it being thrown. That story makes sense. I don't know why anybody unsolicited would go and tell someone in a supervisory or administrative capacity this story. It makes no sense to me why you would do that. Then we had another testimony from a Sarah Colton, who said that Ms. Robb told her about the incident and said that Morgan, Ms. Miller, threw the bottle and it hit her in the head. No testimony or statement made to Ms. Colton, it appears, that she may have thrown the bottle first. Then we have, lastly, a witness, also in another supervisory capacity, who says that Ms. Robb told her, when she questioned what happened, that she tripped and fell and hit her head. We don't know if this was a statement that was made to Ms. Keaton or Keener, I can't remember how her name was pronounced, prior to the police report being made or after the police report being made. I don't know that that really matters, because what matters to the court, at least, is that I now have had testimony from 5 witnesses, and everyone has given a statement different from the alleged victim. But the alleged victim has told all of these people, she's spoken to every last one of them, but she told them all something different. How can I find her credible? You told everybody something different. Which one is the lie? I'm supposed to believe that she told everybody else something different, and then now she's here to tell the truth and the whole truth, even though when she was on the stand and she was asked, did you give a statement to the police? Absolutely. She didn't give a statement to the police on the 21st. That was a lie too. So no, I find her to lack any credibility. The case was dismissed.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.